How's it going, people, and welcome back to another show. Hope you guys are keeping very well. Ah, New season is upon us, and my question today is: we are doing an Arsenal preview for the season, and my question to you today, should I say, is: can Arsenal actually win a trophy this coming season? Considering the amount of money that Arsenal have actually spent this coming season, my question to you guys is: can Arsenal win a trophy this season? There are three or four, I say four, but mainly three trophies up for grabs this season that I reckon that Arsenal should be going for, which obviously is the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. So my question to you guys is today: can Arsenal win a trophy this season, or is it going to be another trophyless season? Welcome to the show, guys. If you're watching me on TikTok, welcome. If you're watching me on YouTube, welcome. If you're not watching me and you're watching it on replay, leave your comments or leave your questions or your response in the comments below. As per usual, hope you guys are keeping well. I am back from holiday, guys. I'm back in the studio, as you guys can see. I did a couple of videos, obviously, whilst I was away. Obviously, I missed the last two preseason games, which was against Villarreal and also against Atletico Bilbao. I did try to watch it whilst I was on holiday, but I was not able to watch the whole game. You know, you're on holiday. You kind of want to take your mind off things and, don't want to think about football for a little while. And that's exactly what I did. But obviously, I watched the highlights. I watched a couple, like I said, I watched a few of the games, watched a few minutes here and there, but I didn't get to watch the full 90. So I'm not going to jump on here, try to analyze all the games. But you can see my match, obviously, reactions on my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. How are you guys doing, Saliba, the GOAT? Hope you guys are well. Thank you for joining me as per usual. So the main question is for this video is basically a season preview. And also the main key question is, can Arsenal win a trophy this season? That is my main key question. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What are your season predictions for this coming season? As you guys know, the season kicks off tomorrow. And it is, I believe, Liverpool taking on Bournemouth in the season starter for the first game of the season, which obviously kicks off tomorrow, Friday. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? What do you guys think in regards to that game? What's the score? Predict the starting lineup. Let me know in the comments as per usual. So let's get straight into it. Is Mikel Arteta under pressure this season? That is the main question. And basically, I would go as far as saying yes. I reckon that Mikel Arteta is actually under pressure this season. And if he doesn't win a trophy, I do believe there's a potential that his job will definitely be on the line come next summer. Would the Kroenkes actually sack him? Now that is the $1 million question. And if I was to potentially, I don't know, if I was to predict what they'll do, I'll probably say no, they won't sack him, because the Kroenkes will never sack Mikel Arteta, and that is my honest opinion. But yeah, let's just basically wait and see. But let's start with the main thing. Is Mikel Arteta under pressure? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I really want us to engage, because the season is starting tomorrow, as I said. I want to talk about Arsenal. What's your season predictions for Arsenal? Do you guys think we're going to win a trophy? Is Mikel Arteta under pressure? Can we win a trophy? And if we can, what trophy do you think are the most important trophies for Arsenal to win? What trophies do you think we are likely to win? And which one do you think that we're going to potentially miss out on? So let me know in the comments below. So as I said, I'm streaming both live on YouTube and also on TikTok. So I'll try to read out comments from each platform. So I got some questions in already. Guys, I'm talking about Arsenal. I'm not talking about Isak. I'm sorry. So let's not even go there. Arsenal injury curse starts again. Zubimendi not in training. Listen, we don't know what the full story is. Again, it's just speculations. It might just be Mikel Arteta playing mind games. You do know that this man loved to play mind games at the start of the season. He did it a couple of seasons ago. I mean, I don't know if it was mind games or it was just literally him being stubborn, not playing Gabriel Magalhaes for like the first 2 to 3 Premier League games, and that was literally backfired on him. So let's just see how that one goes. What's your thought on Arsenal being linked with the young Irish Jack Mayhoff? I honestly don't know anything about that. That's the honest truth. I haven't seen that rumor. So let me know where you heard that rumor from. So I can't really comment on that. Looking forward to Sunday. I'll be in the Stretty End. Football is back, baby. Yes, that's basically what we're talking about. Unfortunately, I can't travel up to Old Trafford, but I will be doing a live stream live here. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you're following me and make sure you are subscribed to wherever platform that you're basically streaming this from right now. The American would not sack Mikel Arteta because he's made them lots of money, someone says. Yeah, that's basically another way to potentially look at it and to go about it. I mean, if he continues to make Champions League football, there's a likelihood that they won't sack him, because as we know, you make Champions League football, you basically make more money than you would if you were basically not in the Champions League. As you know, Arsenal, I think they made, when it comes to club competition, in all club competition last season, I believe that Arsenal made most, in England anyway, made a lot of money in comparison to all the other Premier League clubs. So yeah, that potentially might be a case or an argument to be made. What's your thought on Arsenal being linked with the I did say that I don't know anything about him. I'm not here to talk about Liverpool, and I'm not here to talk about Isak, unfortunately, guys. So yeah, strictly Arsenal. Sorry, mate. Jack is a very good. He's very good. You should watch his highlights. I'll probably look at that at some stage when I come off on here. Oh, I got done there. Oh, no way. It's funny because my pronunciation was actually didn't get me there, so that's probably I got done, guys. That's the first one, the first time. You know what? Screw you guys. Screw you guys. I actually think all banter aside, Arteta will get sacked by Christmas. Wow. Somebody said they think that Arteta is going to get sacked by Christmas. Somebody on TikTok is saying that. That's a very far fetch. I don't think they will sack Arteta mid-season, in my opinion. I don't think Arsenal would do that. We've only ever, I think, years of watching football, obviously, we've only ever known Arsene Wenger, then Unai Emery. And he's the only manager that Arsenal have ever sacked come mid-season. So Arsenal do not have the history of sacking managers mid-season. If anything, they'll probably wait till the end of the season. It all depends on how the season is going, to be fair. If it's a case of, let's say, come Christmas, we're not even nowhere near, let's say, like challenging for the league or anything like that, then you might basically start raising questions and eyebrows will start raising. And then you might basically start speculating that is Arteta the right man? And they might go in the Manchester United way, where last season when obviously Eric Ten Hag got sacked around the Christmas time. But in my personal opinion, I can't see that happening. I'm not going to lie to you. Let me know in the comments below. I know you guys are watching on YouTube as well, so put your comments in. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Mikel Arteta is going to get sacked by Christmas? That's a very good one. Let me see. Somebody think that he will. What's your thought on Arsenal? He's one of those ones. Yeah, I did get done there. Somebody said, who won the Emirates Cup? Go back and watch it, mate. Come on, man. If he doesn't win anything this season, he might get sacked. So I do believe he will. And that's basically what my question is. If he doesn't win anything this season, does Mikel Arteta get the sack? Because this is going to be his sixth full season, if I remember correctly. It came in mid the 2019-2020 season. Halfway through 2019 Christmas, around that time, December, that's when he got appointed. So will be his sixth full season. I think let's say Arteta, Bukayo Saka, who was in, let's say, Unai Emery's original squad. He's the only one that's still part of that squad that Mikel Arteta inherited. So literally, when you look throughout the squad, including the bench, this is Mikel Arteta's team. This is all his team. So there's no excuse to say like, oh, he hasn't gotten a striker now. I'll get onto that. Because last season, it was a case of, oh, he doesn't have a striker. Or the season before that, or 2-3 seasons ago, a lot of people were like, oh, this is not his players. So give him 2 to 3 or 4 transfer windows. Let him get all his players in, get all the deadwoods at the window or at the door, and then we can start talking. That time has come. This is that time now that we can literally say, This is Mikel Arteta's team, bar Bukayo Saka. Because Bukayo Saka was already playing for the first team before Arteta took over, right? But, you know, we can say maybe not in that position that he's playing in now, but he's developed into the right wing and an attacking position. However, when you look at the squad as a whole, Bukayo Saka was probably the only player that was still playing for Unai Emery that's still playing for Arteta now. So this is his squad. This is his team. So there's no excuse now. There's no, this is not his squad. Give him 2 to 3, 4 windows to get Deadwood at the door, get his players in, or sign a striker, get a defender in. This is his squad now. So there is no hiding, no more hiding. The Kroenke, somebody says, the Kroenkes won't care. Where is it? Sorry, I just lost it. The Kroenke don't care if Mikel Arteta wins the league. Just as long as he gets top 4. Arteta will be sacked this season, somebody says. How many goals do you think Gyökeres will score? Gyökeres will score at least 25 Premier League goals. I do hope so, but I'll get on to Gyökeres in a minute. But my thing is, this season, because I personally don't think Mikel Arteta winning the Carabao Cup counts, in my opinion. It doesn't count. I personally wouldn't. Listen, I'm not going to be celebrating. I think we're in that phase now that Carabao Cup just won't do it. He won't cut it. He won't cut it for me personally. It's not about the Carabao Cup. I personally think, okay, you win the Carabao Cup, it's like you're papering over the cracks. That won't be enough for the amount of money. I know we keep talking about money spent and other clubs have spent more money. I get it. But when we look at Mikel Arteta, he spent a lot of money on the players that he wants, in the position that he wants. So you can't now sit back and say, oh, he hasn't been backed. He's been backed. He's been backed more than Unai Emery was backed. Obviously, he didn't stay as long, but he's been backed a lot more. So Carabao Cup won't cut it for me, personally. So when you look at it, it's the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. Now, how many of those 3 realistically can Arsenal win? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it, guys. He should have been sacked already if we're being totally honest. Mate, I don't know. Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. Let me not lie. Because last season, I said, this time last season, I was saying it to one of my friends, right? And I said, I'm giving Arteta one more season, yeah? Which was last season, to win us a trophy. And if he doesn't, he needs to be at the door. But then last season, I was also, or this time last year, in terms of summer transfer windows, I was also expecting us to sign a striker, and we didn't. We went to end up getting Calafiori, got Marino, and I was just like, if they give this man a striker, then last season would have been his last season for me personally. However, we didn't get that striker, so I'm now saying that again this season. I know it's like I'm repeating myself, but if Mikel Arteta now has Gyökeres and he can't win, which everyone keeps saying that's the last piece of the puzzle, and if he can't win either the Premier League, the FA Cup, or the Champions League, then yes, I probably will jump on the bandwagon that maybe we need a new manager, because how long are we going to keep saying or making up excuses for him? Oh, he hasn't got a striker. It's injuries. Mate, listen, you decided that you wanted less players last season. You decided that, right? So you knew that there's a likelihood that you're going to get injuries. The season before that, we were lucky to get hardly any injuries. And obviously we took it, I say to the last day, but let's be honest, we had already lost it. And then last season, injuries, yes, you can argue injury killed us. But this season, this summer transfer window now, you can argue and say, mate, you knew what you went through last season. So surely you can't make the same mistake twice. Surely not. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Favorite manager of all time. We'll discuss that later on. I'll favorite that one. I mean, let's be honest. In my lifetime, I've only known, well, I say my lifetime, but Wenger's got to be up there. He's basically been the one and only manager that a lot of Arsenal fans in the current modern years I've only ever known. apart from maybe Arteta now. Someone said no. I heard Mourinho wants manager. Yeah, get out of here. If Arteta doesn't win anything this season, then he needs to go. Yeah, I probably would concur. I probably would agree. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would agree. I would agree with that one. Martin Odegaard is a racist towards black Arsenal fans. How so? That's very. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of that one. It's been Arteta's team for the last 3 years. Rishi says, "You're right. You're right. But yeah, you're actually right. You know, he's been his team, but then again, everyone kept making excuses that, I mean, last couple of years is a case of he needed to sign a striker. He had to get rid of like Aubameyang. He had to get rid of Ozil. He had to get rid of Socrates, Mustafi, get rid of all this deadwood. It took him a while. Let's be honest. The first 3 years, it was hard for Mikel Arteta because he had to deal with a lot. He had to get rid of a lot of deadwood. But as you said, the last 3 years, it's been his team. It's been his team. So what's the excuse now that he has a striker? You know, now that he's got a striker now. But somebody says, let's see. Sorry, just lost that one. Let's see the comments. I had one just now, just disappeared. So someone says, let me ask you a question. Is Arsenal the best team in London right now based on transfers and trophies? If that's basically what we're basing it on, when you say the best team in London right now, like, I'm assuming you're probably a Chelsea fan, or if you're not, you're an Arsenal fan. I think historically, a lot of people are going to say Arsenal are the best team in London. But if you're basing it on trophy in recent years, then probably not. In recent years, I'll be honest about that. You know, I'll be honest about that. The one thing Arteta has his eye on is young talent in Wanyeri and etc. and etc. Listen, when I love Ethan Wanyeri. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love Ethan Wanyeri. However, my thing is we need to win a trophy this season, and that's my question to you guys today. That is my ultimate question to you guys today. There was a comment that basically in the same position when Wenger left, just finishing top 4 with nothing to show for it. Yeah, but I think towards the latter years of Wenger, we weren't playing great football. We didn't have great players. We weren't signing great players. So ultimately, I'll respectfully disagree with that one. Everybody predicted, yeah, we'll get into the United game in a minute and we'll do our match prediction in regards to that. So yeah, in regards to the trophies, if you do think that Arsenal are going to win a trophy this season, which trophy do you think that we're more likely to win? That is my question for you guys. You're one of the decent Arsenal fans, not going to lie. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. At the end of the day, listen, it's not about being delusional. You're gonna have opinions. I love to have a banter, but ultimately you have to also then keep it real. Right now, Arteta don't have excuse. Like, we've been challenging for the last 3 years. Like, the FA Cup run last year was shit. Let's be honest about it. The one before that was crap. And I think the problem with Arteta is because he's so desperate to win, he keeps putting all his eggs in one basket. Like, for example, the season before that, he tried to, I think it was the season before that, he obviously, we got out in the quarterfinals against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And I think it was the season that we was in the Europa League. He tried to put all his eggs in one basket. He lost it. We had a few injuries as well. I think that's the year that we lost against Leverkusen and Saliba got injured, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. But then obviously the season after that, he desperately needed to win a trophy. He wanted to go for the big one. And in my opinion, it's like he went straight for the Premier League, for the big one, but then he missed out. And then by not prioritizing the FA Cup, it's like because he was so new to managerial, as a senior manager or first team manager, he didn't know how to balance his squad or his team and balance his priorities in regards to what trophies to go for. It was either he was going all in for the Premier League or was going all in for the Europa League or trying to go all in for the Champions League when we went out against Bayern Munich that season. Then last season, it was like he was going all in for the Champions League as well because it got to a certain stage in the season and he realized actually the Premier League trophy is gone. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go all out for the Champions League. Obviously, we got to the semi-finals, lost against PSG, we're the winners. But my thing is, Arteta does not know how to prioritize which trophy he's going for. And that's my take on it. I really believe Arteta doesn't know how to prioritize. And I'm hoping now, 6.5 years in, let's be honest, almost 7 years in, because we're talking December 2019, right? Almost what? 5.5 years, almost 6 years in. Surely by now you must have enough experience. You must have enough know-how to know that, okay, I need a balanced squad and I need these players and I need that. And I know how do I rotate the players, the squad, week in and week out in order to compete at all fronts. And I think that's the sticking point when it comes to Mikel Arteta. That is the sticking point to Mikel Arteta. Hello, Buff. So yeah, that's basically evening from Newcastle. Arsenal for the title this year. Hate Liverpool fan or hate Liverpool. That's a Newcastle fan talking there. But based on last season, Tottenham and Chelsea were better than Arsenal, but Arsenal had a better team. Based on last season, Tottenham and Chelsea were better than Arsenal. How so? I don't get it. So Chelsea won the conference. Tottenham won the Europa League, so that made them made them better. No, I don't understand and I disagree if that's what I think what you're saying, because ultimately, and this is where people keep getting it wrong. Are you saying who's a better team or who had a more successful season? You need to be able to differentiate the two. Yes, you can argue Chelsea and Tottenham had a more successful season, but to say they were a better team than Arsenal, no, I disagree. Because we were fighting for the Champions League. You're telling me if Arsenal were in the Europa Conference, God forbid, or in the Europa League last season, we wouldn't have won it. Again, did you see the team that Tottenham played against, that shitty Manchester United team? You telling me Arsenal wouldn't have beaten Man United in that game? Come on, man. The teams that were finishing 15th, 16th in the Premier League. Arsenal were chasing for the Champions League and Premier League title, and you're telling me Tottenham and Chelsea had a better team than Arsenal? I don't get it. They had a more successful season, yeah. I'm not arguing against that. But to say they had a better team? Brother, get out of here, man. Let's have a proper conversation. Let's have a proper conversation, bro. Chelsea is better than Arsenal now. Arsenal are getting better, though. Chelsea is not... Oh, my God. I didn't come here to have this conversation or this debate today in regards to who's better. I'm talking about Arsenal, so I'm not even going to fall into your trap this evening. Chelsea are not better than Arsenal right now. They had a more successful season. Yeah? Chelsea did not beat Arsenal last season, because I don't remember Chelsea beating Arsenal last season to win any trophy. Chelsea had a more successful season, but they are not better than Arsenal. Chelsea have spent £1 trillion million just to get themselves back to where they are now, compared to any other club in the Premier League or even in the world. And you want to come at me and say, blood, get out of here, man, please. Don't even try and piss me off. Well done to Chelsea. I'm here to talk about Arsenal. Anyways, back to my talking point in regards to Arsenal, because Chelsea, DC, you know what, yeah? I'll be honest about it, and I said it in one of my previews on another platform, right? I'm not going to be sleeping on Chelsea this season, because yes, they won the Club World Cup against an abysmal PSG performance in the final. They won the Conference League, by the way, not the Europa League, the third tier of European football that shouldn't really exist in my opinion, but it does. And Chelsea spent £1 trillion to win that, but we're not here to talk about Chelsea. But in regards to the Premier League this coming season, my thing is Arsenal are still going to challenge for the Premier League title. I personally believe that 110%. Chelsea will also challenge for the Premier League title. So will Manchester City, so will Liverpool, so will maybe Newcastle, depending on what's going on within their transfer this summer. But if I was to predict it right now, I personally think it'll probably be Liverpool, Arsenal, City, or Chelsea. It's gonna that's gonna be the top four. In which order I couldn't tell you, but obviously as an Arsenal fan, I want Arsenal to win the league. And in my opinion, I think they have to win the league this season. They have to. Like, you've got in the striker, which you've been craving for the last 2 to 3 years. So you've got in your striker now. You've got in your midfielder in Zubimendi. You've got in a great, not great, a good backup goalkeeper in Kepa. You've got good backup for Zubimendi in Norgard. You got Madueke. So you've spent money. You got Mosquera in, who is to be a backup for, I believe, Saliba in case of any injuries. And as I said earlier, and I'll say again, the problem with Mikel Arteta is rotation. He's so heavily reliant on the same players week in and week out. For example, towards the end of last season, Wanyeri hardly got any game, and everybody was thinking, what is going on here? Did Mikel Arteta and Wanyeri fall out? Because I personally didn't understand it at that time, you know. And we had a couple of injuries. Gabriel Magalhaes got injured again. Saliba even got injured. Timber got injured. You know, Ben White hardly featured. So there was a lot of discrepancies and there's a lot of caveats to our season. However, you'll be a fool to go into the summer transfer window or not be prepared for the upcoming season, considering what you've experienced the last 2 years in particular, and think that you can do that again this year. Because Arsenal didn't lose or have not lost against any top 6 team in the Premier League in the last, I think, 3 seasons, if I remember correctly. But yet, people are telling me Chelsea are better than Arsenal, like they beat us. Please. Saka never gets a break. Let the brother rest. And this is it. He doesn't. And that's the point I'm making, because he's too heavily reliant on Saka. Way heavily, to the point where we as fans could see that this man, we were like, Saka's going to get injured. Saka's going to get injured. Saka's going to get injured. He's playing international games. He's playing for Arsenal. He's going to get injured. And what happened? Got injured. So many, was it hamstring injuries last season? About 4 months out, and we had to rush him back for the Real Madrid game. Played well, don't get me wrong. And then, but it was like, if we had another, let's say, another sort of player that can come in for Saka, we would have been rotating quite well. But Mikel Arteta needs to learn very quickly this season how to rotate players and also when to make the right substitutions. When to make the right substitution. Martinelli is garbage. Honestly speaking, like, I've been speaking to a mate of mine and I was like, I'm not going to lie, I don't rate Martinelli anymore. Obviously, he's still at Arsenal, so I have no choice but to support him. But do I actually still rate Martinelli? No. But obviously, if he starts, he starts. If he scores, I'll celebrate 100%. But if he left today and we got a Rodrigo in, I won't be complaining. I will not be complaining. So, as for Martinelli, he just needs to, I don't know, he needs to up his game. Now that he's, hopefully, if we get an Eze in or Rodrigo in, then hopefully Martinelli might see as, oh my God, I need to basically, I need to get my butt in gear because now I've got a competition. Because basically from what I was reading not too long ago before I came on live was that apparently Arsenal are waiting to, Arsenal first choice right now, from what I'm hearing or from what I'm reading, is apparently Arsenal wants to get, their first choice is Rodrigo. And if they can't get Rodrigo, then that's when they're going to go for Eze. But I personally just feels like Arsenal are playing a very dangerous game. Very dangerous game when it comes to that kind of transfer. Very dangerous game. So it's either they, I don't know, buckle up their ideas in regards to whether they want to get Eze, whether they want to get Rodrigo. Otherwise, they're just basically going to miss out on both of them because, as we know, Tottenham are trying to apparently go for Eze as well. But let's see how it goes. Yeah, in regards to, anyway, listen, I'm not here to, I'll probably touch on transfers later on. But yeah, ultimately, I do believe that in regards to what are the trophies that are would an FA Cup. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Yeah. We've not done enough. Saka never gets a red. We also need to get an attacker midfield coach. Martinelli is garbage. Let me see what you guys are saying. We beat you 3 times. Okay. What game are you watching? I'm not. What do you mean? What game am I watching? I'm not watching any game at the moment. Who will come the furthest in the Champions League between Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea, and why? I'll get into that. Listen, in regards to the Arsenal and what you call it, the trophies basically that I reckon that Arsenal basically need to win. In my opinion, I honestly think. So my question to you guys is: if Arsenal, what trophy will be enough? Arsenal fans, let me ask you this: yeah, you got the Premier League, you got the FA Cup, you got the Champions League. Like, I'm not a deluded Arsenal fan, right? However, I'll say this: what trophy would be enough? Because we can't win it all. The dream is to win it all, but we're not on Man City right now. We can't win the treble or the quadruple, but I honestly do believe if we apply ourselves and if we play well, if we don't get many injuries, we can potentially win a double. We can potentially do a double. So my question to you is, what would be enough this season? Because for me, someone says FA Cup is about right for Arsenal. Yes, at the moment, I think Arsenal's won the most FA Cups. However, an FA Cup for me won't suffice. For me personally, an FA Cup won't suffice. If you could choose one, which one would it be? That is my question to you guys. Got my guy here, Gunnar LB says, if Spurs gets Eze and Savinho, they will finish above us. Woo! I don't know. I don't think they'll get both. I'm not going to lie to you, Gunnar LB. I don't think they'll get both. I think they'll get one or the other. So I think, obviously, if Eze had to choose between Arsenal and Spurs, he's going to come to Arsenal, in my opinion, if we meet the demands of Crystal Palace. And that's when I think they'll get Savinho. But then I think the layout for Savinho is looking about 68 to 70 million pounds that Manchester City wants, apparently. And obviously, you're basically saying you choose Eze over Rodrigo all day. I would as well. I'm not going to lie, bro. I'm not going to lie. I would choose Eze over Rodrigo all day long. All day long. Eze, someone says on YouTube, PW says, Eze going to Spurs. Very much doubt it, my friend. I very much doubt it. If Eze goes to Spurs, oh my days, Arsenal will never forgive you. We will never forgive you. Someone says, I'm also, Guna LB says, I'm also done with this club. Same old Arsenal. Berto, you clown. Madueke over Eze is crazy. Do you know what that Madueke's deal literally took everybody by surprise? Everyone by surprise, including myself. And I'm just like, £52 million outlay on a player that at the time I didn't think that we needed. Because let's be honest about it, yeah? Now that he's become a Rodrigo or Eze, we could have gotten a Rodrigo because that £52 million outlay that we spent on Madueke, that could have gone towards Rodrigo. And then we could have still got Eze at the same time. Honestly, Arsenal, like sometimes the kind of business that they do sometimes just, it doesn't make sense. It really does not make sense to me, bro. I'm not going to lie. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Why do Arsenal fans banter Tottenham for last night? Arsenal have never won I've never been in a Super Cup final. And we've never lost a Super Cup final. Especially from 2-0 up during full time, 2-0 up in the penalties, and you bottled both of it? Get out of here. Oh, man. Guna LB on YouTube says, Solanke, Kudos, Savinho, Eze is better than is a better front four than us. Are you really serious? Whoa. Hold on, bro. Listen. I respect your opinion, but I also respectfully don't agree with all of it. Solanke is not better than Gyökeres, in my opinion. Kudus is not better than Saka. Savinho probably better than Martinelli. And where would Eze play? Is Eze better than Odegaard? Probably. So that's maybe 2 out of 2. That's 2 out of 2. Let's put it like that. Solanke is not better than Gyökeres. I don't personally believe that Kudus is better than Saka. Savinho is probably better than Martinelli. And Eze, I'll probably start him over Martinelli. Odegaard, sorry. So yeah, maybe 2 out of 2. So yeah, you're onto something there, but I wouldn't 100% agree with everything there. I wouldn't expect it. I'm sorry, bro. At Spurs, Eze will play. At Arsenal, we have Odegaard as our number 10. You're definitely right. And I think the only thing, yeah, that is definitely one thing that would sell it to Eze going to Spurs over Arsenal. Because he can look at it and thinking, Maddison is out injured pretty much for the rest of the season, yeah? I can go into Tottenham and literally my position is set. Like, I'm playing week in, week out. I'm not competing with no one. My position is set. So that's another thing that Eze can look at and say, yeah, I'm definitely, I'm definitely going to be playing as opposed to, but as a player, do you want to then challenge yourself and go to Arsenal and say, listen, I know Odegaard is playing in my sort of position. I know he's the club captain, but if I rate myself, I know that I can do better than Odegaard. So yeah, I'm going to challenge myself. And Arsenal is his boyhood club. Yes, we released him, but that was years ago, man. That was years ago. So over 10, 15 years ago. So let him come back home. That's what I say. Let him come back home. Gabby says, I don't think Arsenal need another attacker. To be fair, we do, bro. I was just saying it. We do. We need strength in depth. We need strength in depth. You saw what happened to us last season. Saka was out for 4 months. Havertz was out for like 4 months. Gabriel Magalhaes was out. Marino was literally our number 9. Odegaard wasn't doing it. Martinelli wasn't doing it. And yeah, we just looked depleted up front. So yeah, we do need another attacker. We need rotation for the rest of the season. He's developed a lot then since, somebody says, in regards to, I'm assuming, Saka. How are you going to tell me he hasn't when he's played for my club too? Over here on TikTok. I have to say, what a trophy for Arsenal in regards to what exactly you guys talking about. And here we go again with the whole Cole Palmer is better than Bukayo Saka. Another one. Oh, man. Is it time for Arteta to go if he doesn't win a trophy? Honestly, I do think it is, yes. I'm not even going to hide it now. If I don't know. Eze will fit good as a left winger for us, 100%. And I think that's the thing with Eze, because as much as he can say, oh, I can go to Spurs and my position is secured, I can play week in, week out, all good, great, fantastic. But then he can also play left wing and he can play as a number 10. And personally, if I was Eze, I'd be like, listen, I can displace Martinelli. Easy. Especially when you're playing against teams with low blocks. Low blocks, you know that you're playing. Like, because the way Eze plays, he's our guy. He's our guy. So yeah, so basically I do reckon that it's going to be an interesting end to the transfer window. I do think Arsenal are going to sign one more attacking player before the season ends. The question is it going to be a Rodrigo or is it going to be a Eberechi Eze? That is the question. Is it time for Arteta to go? I don't know, man. Arsenal lost a Super Cup to Juventus in 1994, brother. So you have lost one just like Spurs. So you basically just contradicted what you said in regards to Arsenal have never played in a Super Cup final. See? But the fact you never been in a Super Cup final highlights no European Cup success. I think people, I'm assuming you're like an a newer generation fan that don't know the history of football, go and check the trophies before, because they've changed names of competitions. Like the Premier League used to be the Barclays Premier League or the Carling Bruv, there's been so many different names. They've been changing. Go and check your history before you come to me, yeah? We're gonna get Eze, somebody says. I do hope that we do get Eze, because I think everybody thinks that Eze is definitely better than they would rather Eze over Rodrigo. I do got a question to ask you guys. I don't know, Arsenal fans, have you seen this video in regards to Tony Adams, our former captain legend at the club, recently said he reckons that Arteta should displace Martin Odegaard as the club captain and make Declan Rice the club captain. Let me hear your thoughts on that. I did a video on this and I posted it on my TikTok. Let me know what you guys think in regards to that statement. In my personal opinion, I fully agree with Tony Adams on that one. I'm not going to lie, because when Declan Rice signed for the football club, I looked at him and I said, yep, that's our future captain. That is our future captain. So let's be honest about it. If today Arsenal or Arteta decide to say, you know what, I'm going to make Declan Rice the club captain, I'll be very shocked if there's any fan in our fan base that says that was the wrong idea. I will be very shocked if everybody went against Declan Rice being the club captain. Tony Adams is talking nonsense, somebody says. Martino is our man. Come on, you Gunners. That's your opinion, and I respect it. But I also disagree. Because when last year, okay, look, since Declan Rice has been at the club, right? In my opinion, on the field, he's done more than Martin Odegaard has done. And that's what, 2 years? It's been there, what, 2 years? 3 years? I'm losing track. I'm losing track. He's been there 2 years, right? He's done more on the field. Last season, for example, yeah? Let me give you this scenario. Last season, for example, when Thomas Partey got that yellow card and he got suspended for the next game, who was the player that went up to Partey and said, what the hell are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Now you're going to be suspended for the next game and you know we needed you. That was Declan Rice. Martin Odegaard was nowhere. Yeah? And then, against Real Madrid, what did Declan Rice do? Score 2 bangers. And you're going to... Martin Odegaard could never... Listen, I'm not even trying to say Martin Odegaard is a bad player, but we can all agree the last 2 or 3 seasons, Martin Odegaard has not been that guy. From when you're able to substitute your own captain in the 60th minute, that means he's not doing nothing. A captain, in my opinion, should be playing 90 minutes every game, should be available for every game. Should be that guy that every man on the pitch is looking up to. And I don't believe Martin Odegaard is not that guy. I'm not going to lie to you. Odegaard is the worst captain in the league, somebody says on TikTok. Guna LB says facts. Or Big Gabby. Odegaard is done, bro. Yeah? Even Big Gabby will be a better captain, and he doesn't speak much of an English, but you can see from his body language, he loves playing for the club. He breathes the badge. Like a wise man once said, play for the badge in front of the shirt and everybody remember the name on the back. But Odegaard don't play like that, man. I'm sorry. His numbers, if you look at his numbers in the last 2 to 3 years, he's dropped. He has dropped. Declan Rice has done more in the last 2 seasons he's been at the club than Martin Odegaard has done. But yeah, he's a club captain. Listen, I'm an Arsenal fan first, so ultimately, I'm going to support Martin Odegaard, yeah? We look up to him as that man to provide a lot of stuff for Arsenal, yeah? Whether it's assist, and he's a good tactician. You know, there are some times when he gives him reminiscence of Cazorla sometimes in terms of some of the vision and some of the passing. But again, sometimes I'm like, you do something different. Just do something different. And it's going to be very interesting this coming season because One of the rule changes in the Premier League this season is only the captain can approach the referee. Let's see how many times Martin Odegaard sticks up for his players and actually behaves like a captain. That's what I want to see this season, because there's been so many times Martin Odegaard will just be waving off the wherever. I want you to go up to the face of the referee and be like, question him, question the decision, ask questions and tell him to his face, you are wrong. You're wrong. But I don't see Odegaard do that. But Declan would. He's got it in his blood. He's got it. He reminds me of a Tony Adams. And that's the reason why Adams are like, if it was up to him, he'll make Declan Rice the captain. And I totally agree. Arteta is to blame for playing injured players. You can blame him all you want. Odegaard would never do that. That's what I'm trying to say. Odegaard will never do that. Odegaard will never go to a referee's face and say, what the hell are you doing? You tell me why you've just done that. Have you seen that? You're giving us a yellow card for that, but you didn't give a yellow card for that. How you? And Odegaard would just be like, yeah, whatever, and jogging back. Go to the referee's face, bro. Or tactically, like for example, obviously he ended up getting sent off last season in terms of Declan Rice because of, again, the rule changes. But let's say, for example, be street smart when Declan Rice tried to sort of knock the ball against, I think it was Brighton. If it went because of VAR, he probably would have got away with it. That's just being street smart. Back in the day, you would have got away with that with no VAR. And that's Declan Rice. You just, obviously you had to take it out of his gameplay as the season progressed, because now we thought, okay, they're knuckling down and that, so we got to be wiser in other areas. But, and Tony Adam basically said the captain is what is a reflection of the manager. Don't get me wrong, that on the touchline, Arteta is very flamboyant, very energetic. But I don't remember Arteta being like that on the pitch. I don't. I really don't. He was a great player, but I don't remember him being that flamboyant on the pitch. I don't. It's very interesting. As Arsenal say, trust the price. Rice is captain material. Definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Someone says here on YouTube, let me get your comments on YouTube. And quickly go back. Gunnar says, if Spurs gets Eze, the league will go this way. Oh, God. First will be Liverpool. Second, City. Third, Chelsea. Fourth, Spurs. Fifth, Arsenal. Wow. Wow. I respectfully disagree. Not going to lie to you. Arsenal coming fifth? Nah. Nah. Spurs finishing above Arsenal? Nah. Come on. Have you seen the way Thomas the Frank engine plays? Nah, be real. Be real, my bro. Be real, my bro. Oh, you're not serious. Spurs above Arsenal. That's what I'm saying. How are you going to say Spurs above Arsenal? Never that. And he says, Arsenal have stacked the team and they will probably not sign any more players that will compete for starting 11. More likely one or two for the substitutions. It's a squad and we have to rotate. I want it to be a case of every week we don't know the starting lineup, but when we see the starting lineup, we're like, I'm happy with that starting lineup. Because, for example, like for fantasy Premier League football, yeah, for the fantasy Premier League, when a couple of seasons ago, I used to hate picking Manchester City players. You know why? Because week in and week out, I didn't know what Pep was going to do. But you knew that whatever player that he chose, they were going to win. That's what I want for Arsenal in terms of depth. Quality in depth. You don't know what team he's going to put out, but you know that whatever team he does put out is going to be strong. That's where I want to be. And I think we're kind of like that. Because let's be honest, towards the end of last season, right? How many times did you look back on the bench and thought, our bench is shit? It's true though. Towards the end of last season, we were just looking at academy players. Because we had shitloads of injuries. And everyone's like, who are we going to bring on? And the majority of those academy players are not even in the club anymore. But now, If you look at our starting lineup here, let's say, for example, you got Kepa, right? You got Kepa. No, starting lineup, David Raya. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Urin Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori. Yeah? Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, let's just say Martinelli. That's the starting lineup. Now, you look at the backup. I'm going to name another 11. Kepa, capable. Ben White, very capable. Mosquera, question mark, is a new player. Kivio is proving himself towards the end of last season. Miles Lewis Skelly goes without saying. Norgard, Premier League proven. Then you've got Marino, proved himself last season. Then you've got Wanyeri, goes without saying. A-Land Academy, made in A-Land, right? Then you've, let's say, on the right-hand side, Madueke replaces Saka. On the left-hand side, Trossard, if he stays. You got Trossard. And up front, you got Kai Havertz. You're going to tell me that's not a good backup? Please tell me that's not a good backup. That's a weak bench. Yeah, keep walking. Trossard will go into any team. I'm telling you that now. Sorry, but Eze is so important to sign. I just feel it. 100%. Couldn't agree more, bro. I could not agree more. PW says on YouTube, he says, I disagree. A captain badge is just a symbol. Odegaard is Norway's captain too. All the players can be captain on the pitch, like Xhaka. Captains don't have to be loud and shout. Adam was wrong. I respect your opinion, but I also disagree. Because I've played football before, and anybody that's played football knows that they need at least one or two players on the pitch that's going to be able to galvanize the rest of the squad or the team when things are going down south. And unfortunately, you need a player to look up to that's going to be like, guys, get your head up. We're still in this game. What are you doing? You need that one guy. Odegaard is not that guy. He's not that guy that's going to create something that you're going to look up to and thinking, okay, we can go again. And I think that's the whole point of a captain. Captain is someone that you know you're not going to get away with being lazy on the pitch. We've had that too many times in the past seasons. Aubameyang was not that kind of captain, but we needed a captain because he was a senior player at the particular time. There was no one else that could have, in the days of Aubameyang, who could you have given it to? Probably Xhaka. But then remember what happened. He had it and then he lost it and he didn't want it again. You couldn't give it to Saka. He was too young. But nowadays he gets it once in a while. But I think the captaincy is not just the badge. It is just as important. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I'm not going to lie. So I respect your opinion, but I respectfully disagree. Gabby says, you never really said who you want out of the club and who you want in the club the most. Sorry, come again? Who you never really said who you want out of the club and who you want in the club the most. In regards to who, please let me know. Gabby, yeah. Ifena, bro, that's a lie, man. What do you mean? What's a lie? Let me know what you mean. What's a lie? United. Got some United on TikTok. What are you guys saying? In 2022, a lot has changed since then. I wouldn't get on our bench. Sorry, mate. I'm telling you, when I looked at our bench back in the day compared to now, bro, let's be real, man. Listen, banter aside, yeah? I know you guys support your respectful clubs, especially on TikTok. Chelsea, Tottenham, United, I get you. But let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. Put all the rivalries aside. You're going to tell me you're going to look at that bench. For example, yeah, either as a left back, you've been playing against, let's say, Saka for the last 50, 60 minutes and he's been bantering you. And then you get Madueke come on. You're not gonna be like, oh my God, I'm not gonna stop running. I'm not gonna stop running. Like, bro, like you're gonna be shitting yourself. Because Madueke is just gonna bring just as much pace, whether he's on the left, whether he's on the right, because Trossard is not slow, Martinelli is not slow, Saka's not slow, Madueke aren't slow. So let's be honest about it, guys. Let's just stop talking. I'm talking about Trossard. He ain't getting on Liverpool's bench. What's Liverpool's bench? Let me know, and then I'll tell you. What's Liverpool's bench? BW, what you say? You said Odegaard is respected by the players. Shouting doesn't mean respect. Listen, I'm not talking about just shouting, bro. I'm not just talking. I know I was saying get into the referee's face, ask him questions, and all that kind of stuff. But for it, okay, I'll give. It's about leadership. It's about leadership. Odegaard is a great player, and I think the captaincy, in my opinion, is weighing him down. Because as a captain, the rest of the players look up to you. They look up to you because you're basically the one on the pitch that's meant to be the one organizing or getting the directions from the manager and bringing it onto the field of play. That's, in my opinion, that's the role of the captain, right? When you look at the past captains at Arsenal history, apart from the recent years, Vieira, great captain, very vocal, tenacity, played well, very rough, very robust. Everybody, it puts in a hard challenge, everyone follows suit. It gets into the referee's face, everyone follows suit. We all saw that against the Manchester United game. Tony Adams, you are not getting past Tony. He's not taking crap from you. Tony Adams goes in for a hard tackle. Winterburn goes in for a hard tackle. So does Lee Dixon. Yeah? Those are the kind of captains we needed. Fabregas, as well, when he was captain, he wasn't the shouty one, but he got to a stage where he would get into the referee's face and ask questions. And he was vocal. And yes, you can be like, oh, everyone can be vocal. But like I said, there's a rule. Like there's a change of rule or change of law this coming season that only the captain can approach the referee. I'm sorry, I have played football before. Anybody that's played football, that's got onto the football pitch and played competitive football will know that you are not the same person on a football pitch. You are not the same person on a football pitch. You become a totally different person. It's like you've been possessed. Me personally, I have played football and I am not the same person on a football pitch. And the reason why I say that is because I want to win. And you have to show that on a football pitch. And if I see my captain going in hard into tackles, running hard, doing like a 50, 70-yard run after he miskicked a corner, like Declan did against Atletico the other day, that's the kind of player that I want to be like, okay, if he can do it, why can't I do it? That's what a captain is as well as other things. A Kevin De Bruyne, for example, he might not be the one to go for hard challenges every time, but every once in a while, in the attacking position, he does something that somebody be like, now that's a player, that's who I want to replicate. How many times are you going to say, I want to replicate Odegaard? Listen, Odegaard is a great player. It might sound like I'm bashing him. I'm just talking about the captaincy here. That's all I'm talking about. But who cares? Arsenal for life. Arsenal for life. That's basically what I'm saying, bro. Not everyone is vocal, Ifena says on YouTube. I believe Rice should be captain, but your point is wrong. Listen, it's my opinion. You have your opinion. I respect it. The most important thing is we both support Arsenal. That's literally it. I respect it. Odegaard is respected. Hence, he's the captain. I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying. They look to see how you behave too. Adam thinks shouting is the best answer. No, I mean, as I just said, it's not the best answer. It's not just about shouting. It's all about performances. We can also all agree as Arsenal fans, right, that the last 2-3 seasons, Odegaard has not been that guy. How many goals has he scored? How many assists has he made? You know, you look up to your captain to produce those kind of stuff, in my opinion. But Odegaard has not been doing that. But you know what? It is what it is. Let me get your predictions for this Sunday. Arsenal against Manchester United. I did do my match preview with one of my Manchester United mates. I did a video a couple of days ago. If you haven't already watched it, go and watch it on my YouTube channel. He's a massive Manchester United fan. Obviously, I'm a massive Arsenal fan. And obviously, we both did a video together. He's of the opinion that it's going to be either a 1-1 or 2-2 draw. But I'm of the opinion that Arsenal will win. I've predicted a 2-1 Arsenal win. Let me know what you guys think. in regards to um, in regards to the Arsenal Manchester United game. It's not always about quality. Hendo was a better captain than Gerrard for me, and that's your opinion. And some people might say Gerrard was a better captain than Hendo. It's all about opinions, but I mean, it's all about respecting each other's opinions and just going along with it. And that's basically what football is, especially as fans, where we just basically go along with everything else. We're just fans, we're supporters, but we also have opinions because we do invest a lot of our money, our time, energy, you name it, into all of that good stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, who's been injured? I'm assuming you're saying Odegaard has been injured, PW on YouTube. If that's the case, then, it's going to be very interesting. And what is your predicted starting lineup? What's your predicted score for the game for the next couple of minutes before I sign off? I'm basically going for an Arsenal 2-1 away win. I am. I'm not going to lie. I do think we'll win. And I think it'll be a great way to start off the Premier League season. We can't go to Old Trafford and lose. I don't think we will lose. The best result we'll probably get is a draw. But I do think we will win. Considering we need to start off strong. We need to start off with a statement win. And there's no better place to go than to go to. I know we've struggled against Man United at Old Trafford more recently. And obviously they beat us last season in the FA Cup, I think at the Emirates on penalties. I think it was, if my memory serves me right. But I do think that Arsenal will win. I don't think we'll lose. Like I said, best result will be a draw. PW here is going for a 1-1. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong too, bro, because I want to win. I think some of us Arsenal fans, because I can't speak for everybody, I can speak for myself. I think I'm at that stage now because I grew up watching Arsenal compete and winning trophies almost every season, right? And only winning probably like a handful of FA Cup in the last how many seasons? It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. So, in my opinion, I think I'm so desperate for Arsenal to win a trophy this season. That's why I'm like, these kind of games we have to win. So earlier I did ask how many trophies and which trophy will be enough for Arsenal this season. How many will be enough? Which trophy will be enough for you guys? For me, it's either the Premier League and the FA Cup or the Champions League and the FA Cup. And if it's going to be one of the big ones, it's either the Champions League or the Premier League. The FA Cup alone won't be enough for me personally, because I just feel like we just keep, like I said, all we've been winning since the last time we won the Premier League, all we keep doing is winning the FA Cup. I am tired of it now. We need to win the Premier League. It's high time. We need to win the Premier League. You're not seeing the Premier League title since 2020. Yeah, it is. That's why I am desperate to win the Premier League. Riley is going for 3-1 Arsenal win. Wow. I said 2-1. You're going for a 3-1. Let me know. Goal scorers. You know the ironic thing is, yeah, in regards to this game, the ironic thing in regards to this particular fixture is there was a lot of people that thought Sesko was going to be playing for Arsenal and Gyökeres would have been playing for Man United. And it's so ironic that they're both now going to be playing against each other, but for the other club. I just think it's actually crazy. Somebody says 3-1 United. Interesting. I got someone say 3-1 Arsenal. Someone said 3-1 United. Let me know what you guys think. What trophy would be enough for you? Got Riley here saying Premier League or Champs or both cups. So I'm assuming you don't want the FA Cup, bro. That's what it sounds like. You don't want the FA Cup. And I don't blame you. You want to go big or go home. You want to go big or go home. And I honestly don't blame you, bro. Because I honestly desperately want the Premier League or the Champions League. And if we do get both, then, mate, it is what it is. And there's going to be a lot of haters. You know that. You know that. Got a Bruges fan here from Belgium on TikTok. What's going on? So let me know. Who do you think is going to be the highest goal scorer before I sign off? Out of the two, Sesko or Gyökeres? Who's going to score the most goals? Last question. Last question. Who's going to score the most goals? Sesko or Gyökeres? I mean, you already know who I'm going for. A lot of people are saying Sesko. Got my guy Gunnar to Una. Gunnar. Premier League or Champions League as well. Oh, rah. Somebody says Sesko. They'll both get 20 plus Premier League goals. Oh, rah. Okay. That's a good shout. They will both get 20 plus Premier League. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Arsenal fans, we've been asking for a striker for the last 2-3 years. Someone that can score 20 goals plus. And we have somebody on TikTok who is predicting they will both get 20 Premier League goals. Wow. But yeah, listen. Premier League starts off tomorrow. Liverpool against Bournemouth. Can't wait. I'm still debating whether to do a live watch along. Let me know. I probably will. Most likely. It is what it is. I probably won't. But listen, I'm a football man. I love football. The thing is, I'm going to be watching it. 110% I'm watching the game. Would I be watching it doing live? That is the question. But yeah, listen. Thank you guys as much as per usual. 2 new incomings in the same season aren't getting 20 league goals each. Well, we shall wait and see. Thank you guys for joining me on this live, both on YouTube and TikTok. As you know, like I said, I'm going to be doing a live watch along on Sunday. Manchester United taking on Arsenal at Old Trafford. 4:30 p.m. kickoff UK time. I'll be live from about 4:15. Then we go through the lineup just before the game starts. Hopefully we'll get a win. And if you haven't already done so, do me a favor, hit that like. And don't forget to subscribe or to follow me on TikTok. You see all the descriptions, all the acts in my descriptions. If you haven't already done so, subscribe. It is free. Absolutely free, guys. Or to follow me on TikTok. Absolutely free. And don't forget to hit the like. And I'll be back with another one. If not tomorrow night for the opening Premier League game, it will be on Sunday. And until next time, take care, guys.